I wish you health, dear Ukrainians. Today there are many military matters. There was a report from the Commander-in-Chief, also the Chief of the General Staff. I spoke with the Minister of Defense of Ukraine. Thank you all. Thank you to all our soldiers, especially in the areas of Dobropilya, Pokrovska, and also Kupianska. It is very important that you achieve results and destroy the occupier. Total losses of the Russians only within the framework of our Dobropil counter-offensive operation, already more than 3,000. Most of them are irreversible losses. It was there that the Russians wanted to make one of the significant breakthroughs on the front, but our forces neutralized them. This is important. Putin is lying to the leaders who are still talking to him when he says that the occupation contingent is achieving some of their goals. So far, for more than a year, they have been forced to come up with new and new reasons why the deadlines set for them are constantly being postponed. This showed that despite everything that Russia says in the world, they still respond only with new attempts, assaults, and new strikes on Ukrainian cities. According to our infrastructure, they are really sick with war. And is it possible to cure them? This is the question. The only thing that can make this Russian virus of war stop is force, strong decisions, strong help. We talked about this in New York with many of our close partners. Of course, we talked to President Trump. Trump is very well informed about the situation on the front, about what the Russians are doing and how they are trying to deceive everyone. We are talking with America about specific things that can stop this war. There are recipes. It is important that what we agree on is implemented. These days, the Russians have continued to inflict heavy blows on our cities of Chernihiv, Kharkiv, the region, Odessa, Dnipro, constant blows on Donetsk. Kherson is under very heavy artillery fire and bombing. The Russians must be held accountable for all this. Absolutely. There were reports today about the deep strikes that our forces are conducting. We will increase the efficiency of drone production, missile production, and production volume. I made a bet, in particular, on contracts in our army. I will instruct to increase the contract component. There were also reports from the Foreign Development Service of Ukraine and the State Defense Committee regarding Russian weapons production, their industry, the fuel complex in general. We have outlined new tasks. Now is the time that the world sees. Russia has entered a state where the war will cause more and more problems for the Russian system itself, the Russian economy, and Russian society. The critical issues are not to reduce the pressure on Russia for this war. Sanctions, restrictions on trade with Russia, restrictions on the schemes they use and on which they earn. All this will work. We are waiting for the approval of the 19th package of sanctions by the European Union. We are waiting for the steps of the United States of America. We appreciate President Trump's stance on those in Europe who still buy Russian oil and pursue a policy of dependence on Russian schemes. We hope that Hungary will listen to a key NATO ally and respect the President of the United States. No one in Europe sees such respect from Hungary right now. America is ready to flood Europe with energy so that no one needs to even look to Russia. The Middle East is ready to work with Europe. Every nation in Europe can become stronger without Russia. There was a report from our military about, frankly, very strange events on the border between Ukraine and Hungary. Our military recorded drones, and they were drones raiders. I instructed the military to conduct a full check, and next time, if such drones will still react accordingly for the defense of our state. Ukrainians are currently the best in Europe in terms of protection against any drones. We are ready to share our experience with other nations that need reliable protection against drone threats. We are negotiating this with dozens of countries in Europe. In the Middle East, we proposed a strong agreement with the neighboring states, one of the most promising. Now we see how in Denmark, Norway, and the Baltic states there are constant incidents with Russian drones. According to intelligence, to launch these and similar drones, Russia can use tanks as launch pads and drone control. And this is not easy to prevent, but real. This needs to be studied. We need to create the appropriate potential. Today, I spoke with the Prime Minister of Denmark, and one of the topics of conversation was the exchange of details about the drones, about all these incidents. Obviously, not accidental. Russia is trying to adapt Europe to itself, to its idea of life. And this is an idea that no European will like, except, of course, those whom Russia has corrupted. Therefore, resistance is needed, joint actions are needed, joint protection is possible. I thank everyone who helps us. Thank you to everyone who knows that life must win. Glory to Ukraine!